Behind the wheel of a BMW, you might feel power, precision, and prestige. But beneath the surface lies a history far more complicated. A brand that today dominates streets and racetracks alike began with warplanes, industrial pivots, and a past it rarely puts on display. BMW's journey from obscurity to global icon is anything but ordinary. But how did this company, once entangled in war and nearly wiped off the map, transform itself into the symbol of power and prestige we know today? BMW wasn't born on four wheels, or even with wheels at all. In 1916, during the height of World War I, a small German company called Bayerische Motoren Werke took flight, quite literally. Its focus: building aircraft engines. Precision engineering and high-altitude performance were the name of the game. By 1917, the company rebranded itself as Bayerische Motoren Werke, BMW, and introduced a logo inspired by Bavaria's blue and white colors, often mistaken for a spinning propeller. BMW's engines were so effective that they quickly gained a reputation in the skies, powering German aircraft to impressive heights during the final years of World War I. But just as the company was gaining altitude, history pulled the throttle. In 1919, Germany's defeat brought with it the Treaty of Versailles, a sweeping set of sanctions designed to cripple the nation's military capabilities. One of its strictest conditions was a complete ban on aircraft production. That meant companies like BMW, whose core business was designing engines for warplanes, were suddenly outlawed by international decree. Stripped of its wings, BMW needed a new direction fast. They made everything from furniture and farm tools to small engines, whatever kept them afloat. But it wasn't until 1923 that BMW found a product that could keep it alive: the R32 motorcycle. With its iconic boxer engine and shaft drive, it wasn't just a machine, it was a mechanical statement: reliable, fast, and technically refined. Two wheels kept BMW alive, but that wasn't enough to build a future. BMW wanted and needed something more, so they took the next logical step: four wheels. In 1928, BMW entered the car business by acquiring Fahrzeugfabrik Eisenach and the rights to produce the Austin 7, rebranded as the Dixie 315s. It was modest, but marked BMW's official shift from two wheels to four. By the 1930s, the company was designing its own stylish saloons, but as Nazi Germany ramped up for war, the company returned to its roots in aviation, supplying high-performance aircraft engines for the Luftwaffe and military vehicles for the Wehrmacht. Beneath the engineering achievements was a grim truth. BMW, like many others, used forced labor from prisoners and foreign workers under inhumane conditions. After Germany's defeat in 1945, BMW faced collapse. Its factories were destroyed or dismantled, and the company was banned from producing motor vehicles. A slow recovery began in the early 1950s with motorcycles and expensive luxury cars, but neither gained traction. Then came the Isetta, a tiny, quirky microcar licensed from Italy. It was affordable, efficient, and wildly popular, selling in the hundreds of thousands and rescuing BMW from bankruptcy. Still, in 1959, the company nearly fell into Daimler-Benz's hands until the Quandt family stepped in, invested heavily, and restored BMW's independence, setting the stage for its next transformation. Survival was sweet, but tiny bubble cars weren't going to build a luxury legend. BMW needed something new, something bold, something that would redefine what driving meant. By the early 1960s, BMW had clawed its way back from the edge, but it still lacked a clear identity. Motorcycles sold steadily, but the sedans lacked identity, and BMW needed direction. And in 1962, that statement roared to life with the launch of the Neue Klasse. The new class of sedans was a revelation. Clean, modern design, disc brakes, independent suspension, and sharp handling, all wrapped in a mid-sized body that felt just as comfortable on the Autobahn as it did on winding mountain roads. It was practical, sporty, and unapologetically German. More importantly, it was profitable. The Neue Klasse didn't just save BMW, it redefined it. This success set the blueprint for decades to come. In the following years, BMW introduced a lineup that would become legendary. The 5 Series for the executive, the 3 Series for the driver, and the 7 Series for the luxury seeker. Each model carried the DNA of the Neue Klasse: performance, precision, and style. Around the world, the brand became known for one thing above all: delivering joy behind the wheel. That joy got a major horsepower boost with the birth of BMW M in the 1970s. M, BMW's motorsport division, brought racetrack energy to road cars. The M1 supercar was exotic and bold, but it was the M3 and M5 that truly made their mark. Sedans that could lap a track by day and pick up groceries by night. By the 1980s and 90s, BMW wasn't just a car maker, it was a status symbol. Yuppies worshipped the 3 Series. The shark-nosed 6 Series became a design icon, and across Europe and the US, the phrase, "the ultimate driving machine," wasn't just a slogan, it was gospel. By the mid-1990s, BMW was riding high, respected, profitable, and firmly established as the go-to brand for anyone who wanted luxury with a pulse. In 1994, BMW made a bold move by acquiring the Rover Group in the UK, a portfolio that included Rover, MG, and Land Rover. But it was a costly misstep. Rover was drowning in losses, hampered by outdated models and internal dysfunction. By 2000, BMW had seen enough. It sold off most of Rover, but not before taking one very valuable souvenir: MINI. That quirky little British brand was about to get the full Bavarian treatment. When BMW relaunched MINI in 2001, it struck gold. The new model kept the retro charm, but added precision engineering and a dash of performance. Fun, fashionable, and profitable, MINI became BMW's first mass-market hit beyond luxury. Around the same time, BMW made another acquisition, one that turned heads: Rolls-Royce. But this wasn't a simple buyout. It was a chess match with Volkswagen over branding rights, trademarks, and factory ownership. In the end, BMW secured the rights to the Rolls-Royce name, and by 2003 unveiled a new Phantom built from the ground up. It was unapologetically grand and unmistakably modern, re-establishing Rolls-Royce as the pinnacle of automotive luxury, with German engineering quietly behind the curtain. By the end of the 2010s, BMW had built a small empire, one that stretched from MINI to Rolls-Royce. But the next revolution wasn't about horsepower or leather stitching. It was coming on silent wheels, and it would challenge everything the brand stood for. In 2013, BMW did something unexpected. While its rivals were still experimenting with hybrids and compliance EVs, BMW launched the i3, a fully electric city car made from lightweight carbon fiber and packed with futuristic tech. It looked nothing like a BMW. It didn't drive like one either, and that was the point. BMW was preparing for a future beyond the combustion engine. The electric gamble paid off. While the i3 was never a volume seller, it gave BMW a head start in electrification and sustainability. The lessons learned shaped the i8, a plug-in hybrid supercar that looked like it had driven out of a sci-fi movie. It wasn't the fastest or loudest, but it turned heads and proved that BMW could make eco-conscious engineering feel exciting. BMW doubled down on that vision. The company unveiled its Neue Klasse EV platform, a callback to the revolutionary 1960s sedans, now reimagined for a world of software-defined vehicles, ultra-fast charging, and circular sustainability. From rethinking battery design to building carbon-neutral factories, BMW was engineering the future with the same precision that once launched it into the sky. Even as BMW charges into an electric future, it hasn't lost sight of what made it iconic. The M division continues to push the limits of performance. MINI keeps its playful spirit with a modern twist, and Rolls-Royce glides forward, silent, luxurious, and unmistakably elite. So what did we learn from this? That building an empire isn't always about a straight road to success. It's about knowing when to shift gears. BMW's story is a masterclass in reinvention. From making engines for warplanes to microcars for post-war survival, from the brink of bankruptcy to becoming a symbol of luxury and performance, BMW has constantly adapted to the moment. Sometimes out of vision, sometimes out of sheer necessity. It's a reminder that even the most iconic brands are shaped by crisis, risk, and the courage to change lanes when the road ahead disappears. If you enjoyed this ride through BMW's incredible journey, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. More fascinating business stories are on the way, only here on Business Boss.